Welcome to yet another rant video. Today's topic, being left on red. Now, I can understand where the annoyance comes from being left on red, as I personally hate it a lot, and this is why I'm ranting about it. And I understand that people have their reasons to sometimes leave people on red, but honestly, you're just an asshole. Being left on red is kind of you signaling or telling a person that, hey, I'm going to acknowledge what you're saying, except I'm not exactly going to respond to it. So then that leads me to saying that if you leave people on red, you're an asshole. That's straight up, without a question, you're an asshole. And why is that? Because maybe, someone's trying to talk to you, or you're trying to talk to someone. Let's say in your case, you're being left on red. You are trying to talk to someone, maybe that you like them, or just in general, you need to find out some information from them, and they just go ahead and leave you on red. Or maybe that you're just having a conversation for whatever reason, and maybe you ask them a question that's important to you, or that you want to know something, and they don't tell you.
Now, as to why I find this such a problem, it's because you are asking that person to do something for you. So, asking them to talk to you or asking them like a question, that is then in response to that would be that they actually answer what you're asking them. If someone just leaves you on red, that means they don't give a shit about what you have to say or what you have to ask. That is what I have such a problem with, and this is so annoying. A lot of my friends do it to me, and actually I take it back, not a lot, a few of them do, and it just pisses me off so much because it shows no consideration for me and what I have to say. It really doesn't. It's basically them, like if I ask them, hey, do you want to go to the movies tonight, or do you have plans later for the weekend? If I say that to them and I want an answer back, of course I'm gonna expect an answer back because I asked them a freaking question, So if I ask them a question, I'm gonna expect an answer. So then when I get left unopened or read on iMessage or Snapchat, that's like a big slap in the face to me, like I don't give a shit about what you have to say or ask about the weekend. Like this one girl does it to me all the time. No, I don't like her. I know I don't want to talk to her like that anyways. And I also don't really talk to her that much often, so if she does leave me on red, it's not too much of a big deal. But the big thing here, what I'm trying to get at with with her specifically, is that she leaves me on red constantly. And it's when I ask questions too. Like, I get it if I say a comment or something, then I don't expect a reply from that. But when it's like I need to ask a question to her, like, hey, how's this going? Because I need to know, like, a process that she's doing for me. I need to know how it's going, and I ask her how it's going. She just goes ahead and leaves me on red. And so then when I call her out for it, then she still leaves me on red. She's even more of a So, I'm sorry to unnamed girl, but you will find out who you are once you read this, and I don't care that I'm calling you a cunt here. I will call you a cunt in a private conversation as well. I don't give a fuck. Secondly, with that, being left on red, it just kind of, if you're actually leaving people on red, then it really shows your character that you don't kind of value your friendships. It really doesn't, because if you leave people on red, then it shows that you don't have an interest in having a conversation with them. It just shows that you want them to either ignore you as well as much as you're ignoring them, or where you're just basically telling them subtly to fuck off, quote unquote. Now, I really can't make this video as extensive as I'd want to because it's just being left on red, but I just kind of hate how my friends do this to me, and people just in general. Like, even if I don't know you that well, I won't get mad because, like, I don't know you, of course. So when you leave me on red and I barely know you, like, that's okay, I won't complain about it. But when I'm close to you and you leave me on red, that's such a pisser, and I hate it because I just don't like it. It shows that you are ignoring me, and if you want to ignore me, just don't leave me on red. Don't open my shit at all. Make it less obvious and make it less annoying. That's what you should do. Like, if you're gonna ignore me, fine, be a piece of shit anyways. But if you're gonna do it subtly. Just like you don't smoke marijuana in front of the cops. You're going to do it in some back alley where it's away from them. You don't do it all in the open in front of their face to piss them off. And of course, if you get your ass arrested, so that's your fault for getting arrested and smoking weed in front of a cop. But if you do it in a back alley, where there's no cop to be watching you, then what's the problem? I mean, yes, it's still illegal in some states, but the problem is, or there actually isn't a problem anymore because the cops won't be there to know that you're doing it and you won't be pissing them off. That's the difference. So, as you can see, the analogies between the two, where being left on red is just being an asshole and being obvious about it, versus being ignored, which is being left on red is being ignored. And if you're being ignored, or if you're going to ignore someone, do it subtly. Do it where they don't know you're ignoring them. Another thing that gets me with this topic too is when people leave you on red because they think they're cool, or like they think there are some higher up than you and it's okay for them to do that. The biggest example I want to use here for that point in argument is the popular girls at school. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you can relate when popular girls at school think they're the shit and they have all the attention on them and that everybody wants to be around them and that everybody wants to give them attention, that they can pick and choose who to be to because they have the quote-unquote power. See, now, that has never made sense to me. It's either you're going to be a straight bitch the whole time or you're going to be a selective bitch. Like, that doesn't make sense. Are you going to be selectively bitchy with people that you don't know, or people that are just going to have an honest conversation with you? Or are you going to be bitchy the whole time, which would make much more sense, so that no one would talk to you and they learn that you're a bitch anyways. There's no point in hanging out with you. Now, I'm trying to point these fingers to many of the girls that go to my current school, and they think that they are the shit because they leave guys and other people on red all the time, and they think that they are hot, so that means they have the power to do so and the right to do so without being called bitchy for it. And they just make no fucking sense in their morals and their communication skills, because leaving people on red because you think you're the shit makes no sense. It doesn't give you power. It doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you cooler. It just makes you look like more of an asshole. Now, that has really pissed me off with the whole leaving on red thing. And it wasn't just about like people doing it. Now, it's when people think they are better than you and they will do it because they think they're better than you. When at the end of the day, in my case, for example, with high school, it's going to be who graduates and who doesn't. It's not whether you have money, whether you're hot, whether you smoke the most kush, none of that. And if you want to go farther than that, everybody's graves are still going to be 6 feet under the ground when they die. So whether how much money you have, or all the cool shit you did in high school or after high school, you're still the same as everybody else. And here's a little tidbit, guys, too. If on Snapchat, if you want to know if someone's ignoring you, go ahead and consistently check their Snapchat scores, and you'll be able to see that if it keeps changing and they don't open your snaps or they leave you on red, they are clearly, and I say clearly, ignoring you. Well, that's pretty much what I gotta say, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's rant. Let me know what you think down below. And that's me out. Bye. Peace.